was said among the nations.
So they asked me to make sure that we came by and gave our condolences and paid our respect for the great body of work of Chairman Hashim Nzinga. Let's give him a strong round.
Who I've known for 57 years. We started out as Steve Washington, Wayne Washington, Charles Washington, Eric Johnson, and so on. The stories I can tell y'all about this young man is too long. We'll be here until 2048. But I do have this message to give. I never knew that we were making this far. Coming from an area where we didn't even know what a lynching was. Coming from an area where we was miseducated. Coming from an area where we fought battles we didn't even know what we were fighting. But God took a seed and He planted it in the ground. And I watched it develop. From a scary crybaby, crying about every little thing, pouting, chasing my brother to the school bus with a .22 rifle, all the things that occurred. Hashim was always a little different. He always took ownership of everything that he did, everything. So, I'm gonna miss my brother dearly, but what he left upon the world, it's amazing. So I'm gonna go back to the planting of seed. When we plant these seeds in these little minds, we never know what it's gonna develop into. But God has a plan for each seed. And when He sprinkles the dust on top of this seed, He knows what's in the midst of the dust, even when we don't. And watching my brother develop from the African think tank in Dallas, Texas, when he was just developing young minds, I'm like, this boy crazy, what are you doing? But all in this mist, I've seen the development of a man brewing, strong man that got carried out of the world, challenged anything. But I never knew that my brother would get to this platform. If it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't have met half of the individuals I know today, because he never let a door close in his face. He gonna kick it open. But he loved his people. He loved his people with all endurance. So this seed is steady developing. So me and him was riding one day, and we came upon Dr. Khalid Abdul-Mahan, our brother for life. And I watched the change develop in this young man. The change that was like a light click on and it never click off ever again. And his encouragement and his strength just, I don't want to keep going on and on with this, but these seeds that's sending amongst us right now, for all the black men that's in this crowd today, we got to stand up and be these fathers that we're supposed to be. We're supposed to study our sons and guide them in the direction that we see God leading them. Because abandoning them, leaving them behind, leads them into tragedies, confusion. So we have to step up to the plate and watch these seeds that we are developing now in this time of age. Hashim has done all he can do. The fathers that's left behind now, we have to grab our mother's hands, our women's hands, our wives' hands, and let them know that we are the man. We are the man that God created us to be. As leaders, not followers. We can't keep following. We get dropped off at the wayside when we follow. We have to lead by all means necessary. In this time and era, we have no other choice but to lead. When our children are being killed 100 times over in our faces, and this ain't nothing but a reflection of yesterday, 360-degree turn coming back to stop us because we stopped leading. We stopped following God's will. We started following famous rims, tires, jewelry, gold, putting our kids off to the wayside. that seed has to be performed. Because God said, I have a picture. I wish I could blow it up right now. As my brother and I finished the conversation, I was in Midland, Texas doing my little job. And I came upon a sunset that I had never, ever, probably never see again. The clouds in the sky rotates constantly. But this particular sunset was a pyramid with the sun coming straight through it. I had to stop, take all kinds of pictures. I said, what are you telling me, God? What is this? How could it even be possible for a pyramid to form in the clouds that rotates, in a constant basis? The light clicked in. It said, it's your time, black man. It's your time. I'm coming all the way from the motherland to let you know I'm present. Take your rightful place. My brother took his rightful place, all the way to the last breath. I drove up at the hospital with him sitting in my car 15 minutes before his passing. He opened his eyes and looked at the emergency room we was at. I'm not being racist, but he seen all these white doctors running out to the car. He said, brother, you took me to the wrong place. I said, this ain't the place. He took you to the wrong place. And I know how my brother was. But I know he was telling the truth from his spirit. You know what I'm saying? But we brought him back home. And when he got back home, he gave his last breath. He said, I'm home. I can go now. So I just want to let everybody know we love you. Thank you for the support. And may Hashim and God's blessings be upon all of us. And our strength grow every day. But brothers, take your rightful place. Let's stop killing each other, overlooking the misdemeanor things that we think are so small, but it's so big. And grab hold to our children and lead them into this next generation. Love y'all.
For those that should be commemorated and honored in present-day America. The legacy that Honorable Hashim Nzinga stood for is always going to be remembered. You see, in ancestorship in Africa, there's a certain type of man that is normally just buried in the ground. And when a man
to stand before us on today to be and give his eulogy. Our eulogist was born in Los Angeles, California in 1967.
All right. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Giving honor to God, I bear witness that regardless to land, label, or language, that there is but one God. And in the name of all of the ancestors, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Malcolm X, Mary McLeod Bethune, Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Minister Khalid Muhammad, and now my brother, Hashim Nzinga. Please be seated. Please be seated. Give yourself a hand, all of you who have been here all day and who have traveled from around the country. I won't be long, but I must be strong. It's a rough day. It's a day that I tried to block out of my mind many times. But that day has arrived. To Hashim Nzinga's family, to his mom, to Brother Pastor Charles, love you. To the entire family. To Sister Janine Nzinga and his son Zion. To Marissa, Stephen, Malika, Hadia,
Zakara, Kainda. 7 great children raised by this man. 7 ones left, 7 heirs of Nzinga out here in America. And all of his children are with him. And even all of the mothers of those children from years past are still with him. And it ain't because he's a rich man. There's something deeper coming from the man that we're talking about today is the reason why you're here. Yes, he's talked about as the chairman of the Panther Party, Panther Party, and that is all true. We are here today because of him. But Hashim Nzinga is bigger than the new Black Panther Party. His history, his legacy is rooted in the entire liberation movement. You know? But I have to say this. I have to start like this. It's a test of faith. It's a test of faith to watch my brother suffer like that. It hurt me to see a man that's sincere, good heart, good spirit, always uplifting, always positive. It hurt me, Brother Stanley. It hurt me, Brother Yusuf, to Sister Janine. It hurt me to just see him suffer like that. And if it hurt me, Lord, how much he had felt. But you know what? Through the suffering, which is a test of faith. Why, God? Why you allow my man to suffer like that? Why? Donald Trump is a no good bastard. Why don't he have it? Why? I don't understand all of the mysteries of life. I do know that the Holy Quran says that every soul must taste death. And I know that death and life and the transition of life and the coming to birth, it's all a part of the universal order that's been going on since the beginning of time. And I know that what I saw in Hashim and Nzinga, I'm going to face, and you're going to face, and others have faced. But it's tough. It's tough. I couldn't really find words for the eulogy today because the tears flowed so much, like a fire hydrant. I ain't never been as close to anybody as I have been to this man. This is my brother. This is my other half. When I lose my brother, I'm losing a part of my insides. When I lose him, from here, I'm losing part of myself. And so I can go through the motions. I can go through the soldiering and the orders and the meetings and the drilling and the captain. I can go through all that. But I'm like an empty vessel. I'm like a walking zombie. I'm just walking. But half of my insides, more than half of my insides, have been taken out of me. So I ask you to pray for me.
Yes, sir, brother.
Because this man right here, I never would have made it. And I never could have made it without him.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't have made it. I know a man here that was born to serve us. Sometimes he didn't serve anybody else with nothing but his spirit and a word of encouragement, and that was worth more than gold. Hashim Nzinga was loved by many, by everybody. I would marvel at Hashim Nzinga. Everywhere we go down here to Atlanta, it would be all of the rappers and T.I. and Pimp C and Bun B and all of the rappers. And they would all break from where they were. Hey, brother Hashim Nzinga. Hashim. You go all around the nation, some of our greats. Khalid Muhammad, he chose Hashim Nzinga and went back and got him again and again. Why?
That's right, that's right.
Did a black nationalist prophet and one of the greatest men of all time choose Hashim Nzinga for his man? Why are you here, Brother Ramzu? Why is this hard for you to take? Huh? We got a giant here, but a giant, we need to look into what is behind him being a giant.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Oh, he's not all in the newspapers. Oh, he's not all on television. Oh, but why are you here? You're here at the character of a man.
That's right.
A man that stood in the gap, and he always was here, not to be seen, not to be known. He was here as a servant.
Yes, sir.
I met him in 1994 with Khalid Muhammad. I met him in 94, serving Khalid Abdul Muhammad, young man. And I have to tell you that through some of Khalid Muhammad's most trying times, through some of his most challenging times, through right there in Riverside, California, when James Best took a 9mm out to assassinate Khalid Muhammad, and Hashim Nzinga almost got hit too, just like Khalid Muhammad's son.
That's right.
Hashim Nzinga been standing in the gap a long time. Hashim Nzinga is the one that when Khalid Muhammad had no security from nobody, he surrounded him like a black angel.
That's right.
And took our leader to Milwaukee, took him out of danger, took him to Dallas, Texas, and linked him with the new Black Panther Party. That's Hashim Nzinga.
Yes, sir.
Khalid Abdul Muhammad would not have been a new Black Panther if Hashim Nzinga had not hooked it up and linked it up. He stood in the gap. Year after year after year after year, he's a servant. All of the years that Khalid Muhammad was here, he was there. Trusted by Khalid with some of his most personal and intimate matters.
Yes, sir.
His most personal and intimate matters, meaning that he trusted him as a brother.
Yes, sir.
And what I'm here to tell you today is chairman is nice. Sister Estella Shabazz, thank you. I've been Black Lawyers for Justice, a lawyer. Shabazz has been this, Shabazz has been that, Shabazz has been this. Look. Ain't nothing that I've been able to do in my life that's equivalent to being able to say that I am his brother.
Come on, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's bigger than all of that. All of that don't mean as much to me as him being my brother and I'm being his brother, because sometimes there's nothing more valuable anywhere on the planet than having a brother or a sister that you can trust.
Come on. Come on.
Ain't nothing more valuable than that.
That's right. Black power.
And not somebody that's just gonna flatter you.
Come on now.
Not somebody that's just gonna tickle your ego.
Say that.
But a brother is somebody that can tell you when you're right and will tell you, Brother Malik, you're not right.
Come on now.
A brother that understood me when nobody would understood me. He would be going to bat for me. And that's how I went to bat for him as the chairman of the new Black Panther Party. Now let's just give me a minute here. Hashim Nzinga. When I became the chairman, now Khalid Muhammad passes He passes suddenly. It wasn't no long illness. He just passed and was in the hospital, and 10 days later he was out of here.
That's right.
And Hashim and Nzinga and I was in the hospital, and we looked at each other, and it was a central committee then, and they all had their parachutes on, and we looked at Nzinga, and I looked at him, and we said, it's going to be up to me and you, brother. And I have to tell you that when I took the chairmanship of the New Black Panther Party from 2001 to 2013, it ain't one step, it ain't 1 year, it's nothing that I did that I would have done and been able to do without Hashim and Nzinga with me. And when I say with, I say with, I mean like a black angel. Not in the sky, but on the ground. It was Nzinga that was encouraging me. It was Hashim and Nzinga that would give life to me. It was Hashim and Nzinga when enemy after hater after backstabber after backslider, even those that wanted to kill me, I had a brother I could call. A brother that I could call. And we would get to rolling. And that kept me going on him. It kept me going. After I was hurt when Khalid Muhammad passed. I was hurt. I was broke up. Hashim and Nzinga. Now I'm here back again. Broke up again. Let's go back to the character of the man. I never would have made it. Where is that video? Let's run the tape for a minute. Run this tape without the music. And let's go over a few facts on the greatness of the man we're here right now. You see Hashim and Nzinga here? You see that look on his face? Hashim and Nzinga's a wise man. Hashim and Nzinga's a patient man. Hashim and Nzinga been sick for several years, yet you still follow him. Is that right? He's still your leader. Is that right? Up until the time. Is that right? Because Hashim and Nzinga is a wise man. And Hashim and Nzinga, even from his sick bed, answer that phone. Black power. Up to the last days, the last seconds, he's concerned about his mission and his obligations to black people. Black power. He's barking orders with the hospital bed on everything. Barking orders on the way out of here. Barking orders. We ought to take charge of our post and all black national property in view. We ought to never quit our post until properly relieved, and we soldier from the cradle to the grave. Black power, black power, black power. I said it while he's alive, now you got to deal with it. If you got a man that can soldier up to the door of death, if you got a man that can soldier knowing that his liver is being eaten away, if you got a man that can soldier under the worst of trials, that's a sign to every one of you that you ain't got no excuse out here to soldier as hard as you can, because Hashim and Nzinga is the best of examples.
After a while, I'm going to kick that door in. And so I called him when God gave me the power or whatever, the instinct. You call your son. And I told him I was coming. I said, I might not be in the room with you, but I'm going to be in your presence. He said, Mama, he called me on the phone when I hung up. Mama, you know God connect me with your Veronica card. Y'all know I can't speak good English, but that thing. And I said, yes, he did. He said, he cut it off and made me a man. I said, he did that too. He said, I want you to know I love you, Mama. And I love God and I know God. He said, but you got to listen to me. I don't know how many hours, like y'all say. But I listened and I let him preach. But when I went over there and looked down on my son, I said, Steve, I said, Hospice, it's not here. I said, you got a choice between the hospital and Hospice. He said, I'll take the hospital. And when he went to the hospital, I thank God for his Janine. And you know, I watched Janine while I was there. He'd always say, Mama, they never, these boys either, they don't want me to pick up a broom to sweep. And I'd say, I watched Janine, she's a good girl. And I trusted her with Steve. And Steve said, Mama, when I go over there, he want me to sit down, but she was tired. She got tired sometimes, so I had to get up. And so when I went to see him, he went to the hospital. And the Jean was there having a fit in the hospital because he was dying right before her eyes. She was saying, what you want me to do? I said, bring him home, dead or alive. So they had to bring him back. And when he got to the door, he gave his last breath. I said, put him in the bed. I said, you go in there and tell him what you want. And my boys were there, so we all got around him. And then a few hours later, the undertaker picked him up. But you know, I don't have no regrets, because I'm in love with God. And I know God said, I'm going to call you when I get ready. He loaned me Steve for a little while. He said, all souls belong to me. And you know, I've been through it before. Now I'm able to stand. You either stand for something or you'll fall for nothing. And I take Jesus today to be mine. And I can stand up and say, he is my God. And you know, I was thinking the other day, I said, now God said, he made all of us out of his image. I said, why these white folks get to be the boss of everything? What color are they? And I said, what's wrong with the color? He didn't say color. He said, I'm going to make you out of my image. What color was God? Do you really know? He's the spirit. Can you really see him? You can talk to him. And you know, I just put my trust in the Lord. And I'm not sad and I'm not mad at God. I'm in love with God. And I know that he's not dead. He's just resting. And one day, I'll meet him again. And y'all just pray for me and I'll pray for y'all. And I love all of y'all. And I may not know you, but I know who the Black Panthers are. I didn't join you, but I was with him, and so I'm a Black Panther too.
Chest it up. Black Power salute. Press the chest, step to the left, and up. Come back. Step to the left, chest, and up. Again. Chest, step to the left, chest, and up. Chairman comes through.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Move out!
All right.